You've probably heard the terms single overhead cam or dual overhead cam, but maybe you're unsure on what those terms mean. So this is for you. So the single overhead camshaft or the camshaft in general is basically the brain of the car. So picture if you were running a marathon. The single overhead camshaft would be telling your lungs when to inhale and when to exhaust. And the faster you go, the harder these camshafts have to work to open and close the valves. So think of a pushrod engine compared to like a track star. When you're coming from a dead stop, that first 10 to 20 yards, that's where a pushrod engine really comes in handy because it's that low end torque that you need. Now, single overhead cam would be more useful for that second and third lap where you need to maintain a really high speed, but you're not aggressively lurching forward. You're maintaining the speed and saving a little bit extra for the last 100 meters. And a dual overhead cam is really for that top end power. So picture if you were running the mile, that last 100 yards where you kick it into full high gear. Dual overhead cam allows for more precision at the top end. So the intake valves and the exhaust valves are working at their absolute maximum peak. Picture if you were running as fast as you could and you couldn't run any harder and you could almost inhale and exhale at the same time. That's essentially what these very expensive dual overhead cam twin turbocharged supercharged engines do in Formula One. The precision is to the hundredth of a millimeter of a second. So basically engines work faster than a human can work. And that's sort of why people are in love with cars, is when people switched from the horse-drawn carriage to the automobile, it basically allowed the people to go further than they'd ever been able to go before. See, as America was expanding, so was the automobile. So the automobile in America sort of grew hand in hand as people started to get jobs further away from home and stopped working on farms. The need to commute further distances and travel further. That's why engines over the past 100 years have advanced from the original side valves, that the Ford Model T used, to the pushrod engines that became famous during the heyday of the muscle car era in the 50s, 60s, and 70s. Really, the need for, if you want to know why single overhead cam and dual overhead cam even exist, is emissions. So eventually, people needed to be able to get performance out of lower displacement engines and also meet emissions. And single overhead cam, which has been popular on motorcycles and single engine scooters and airplanes in World War I and World War II, has proved to be the most lightweight and durable engine. The only reason dual overhead cam has really taken over North America and globally is because you need these variable valve timings to meet these emissions and fuel saving requirements of these